Awaken Light Audio. Awaken your mind, ignite your light.
Master self-discipline, the one skill that transforms everything. There's a silent force that separates dreamers from achievers. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's the ability to keep moving forward even when every part of you wants to stop. You've seen it before. Someone overflowing with potential, intelligence, or skill, but never reaching their goals. Why? Because talent without this one skill is like a car without an engine. It looks impressive, but it goes nowhere. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Motivation fades. It doesn't matter how inspired you feel today. If you rely on motivation alone, you will eventually slow down, stall, and stop. The only thing that will keep you moving is the one skill that transforms everything. Self-discipline. Self-discipline is not about restriction. It's about liberation. It's the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. It's the difference between intentions that fade and results that last in the next few minutes. We're going to strip away the myths, look at self-discipline for what it truly is, and understand how to build it in a way that lasts a lifetime. So take a deep breath, clear the noise from your mind, and step with me onto that bridge, where desire turns into action, and action turns into a life you're proud to live. Part 1. The bridge between desire and action. Everyone has desires. We want to be healthier, wealthier, more skilled, more fulfilled. But between the wanting and the having lies a gap, a space where most people get lost. Self-discipline is the bridge that closes that gap. It's the ability to act on your decisions long after the mood you made them in has faded. Think of desire as fuel. It can ignite you, but it burns quickly. Self-discipline is the engine. It keeps you moving long after the initial spark is gone. Without self-discipline, desire stays trapped in the mind, never crossing into reality. With it, even the smallest desire can grow into something extraordinary. Most people overestimate the role of motivation and underestimate the role of discipline. Motivation is like the weather. It changes. Discipline is like the climate. It's consistent. When you commit to self-discipline, you give yourself something stronger than a fleeting burst of energy. You give yourself the power to choose action over comfort, again and again, until results become inevitable. And the truth is, you don't build unshakable discipline by starting big. You build it by starting small. That's where the seeds of unstoppable consistency are planted. Let's talk about how small commitments create massive change. Part 2. Small commitments. The seed of unshakable discipline. We often imagine self-discipline as something grand and intense, waking up at 4 a.m., working out for hours, building a business in 30 days. But the truth is, lasting discipline rarely starts with massive change. It starts with something so small, it almost feels too easy to do. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig a huge hole and throw in a fully grown tree. You plant something small, nurture it, and let it grow. The same is true for discipline. When you make one small commitment and keep it every single day, you train your brain to trust your own word. That trust is the foundation of discipline. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. Maybe it's reading one page of a book before bed. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for each night. These small actions may seem insignificant on their own, but they create a pattern, proof that you can follow through, no matter how small the task. Here's why this matters. When you keep small promises to yourself, you build the confidence to keep bigger ones. And when you break small promises to yourself, you train your brain to believe your word doesn't matter. Discipline grows the same way muscles do. Gradually, through repeated effort, start with a weight you can lift easily. Then, over time, add more. So instead of aiming for the perfect routine from day 1, aim for the one you can't fail at. Do it daily. Make it automatic. Let it become part of your identity, Because once small commitments are locked into your life, they open the door for bigger, bolder ones to follow. And as you begin to trust yourself through small commitments, the next step is knowing where to direct that growing discipline. Because discipline without direction can make you efficient at the wrong things. That's where prioritization comes in. Part 3. Prioritization. Choosing what truly matters. Discipline is powerful, but without focus, it can be wasted. You can work hard all day, yet end up no closer to your goals if you're disciplined in the wrong areas. This is where prioritization comes in. It's not just about doing things right. It's about doing the right things. Imagine your time and energy as a jar. If you fill it with sand, small, unimportant tasks, there will be no room for the big rocks, the tasks that truly matter. But if you place the big rocks in first, the sand can still fit around them. In life, those big rocks are your highest priorities. The few things that, if done consistently, make the biggest impact on your future. 2. Identify your big rocks. Ask yourself, if I could only achieve 3 things this year, what would they be? Then align your daily actions around those answers. Because every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that truly matters. Prioritization also means being ruthless about eliminating distractions. Not every opportunity is worth your time. Not every request deserves your attention. The more you protect your time from the unnecessary, the more energy you have for the things that count. When you combine discipline with prioritization, every ounce of effort pushes you toward a clear, meaningful destination. And once you know what matters most, the next step is to make those priorities automatic, so you don't have to rely on willpower every time. That's where the power of habits comes in. Part 4. Habits. Automating your success. Discipline is like a muscle. It gets tired if you use it too much. That's why relying solely on willpower is a recipe for burnout. The secret is to build habits that run on autopilot. So discipline becomes effortless. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They're the small actions you repeat without thinking. Actions that, over time, determine who you become. When a habit is strong, you don't have to debate whether or not to do it. Simply do it. There's no mental negotiation, no wasted energy deciding. It's just part of who you are. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation for it. You just do it because it's ingrained. Now imagine if your most important priorities, exercise, reading, creating, saving, were as automatic as brushing your teeth. The key to building these habits is to start small and anchor them to something you already do. If you want to start journaling, do it right after your morning coffee. If you want to stretch daily, do it right after you brush your teeth. These anchors tie new habits to existing ones, making them easier to remember and harder to skip. Over time, habits become self-sustaining. They stop feeling like effort and start feeling like identity. And when discipline becomes part of your identity, success is no longer something you chase, it's something you live. But even with strong habits, there will always be moments when you're tempted to take the easy way out. The difference between short-term comfort and long-term success often comes down to one ability: delaying gratification. Part 5. The power of delayed gratification. In a world that celebrates instant results, the ability to wait has become a rare and powerful skill. Delayed gratification is the choice to resist an immediate reward in order to gain a greater one. Later, it's easy to eat the dessert now. Instead of sticking to your nutrition plan, it's easy to spend the money today instead of investing it. For tomorrow, it's easy to relax instead of finishing that project. But every time you choose the short-term comfort, you sacrifice a piece of your long-term potential. One of the most famous studies on this subject is the marshmallow test, where children were given a choice: eat one marshmallow now or wait and get two later. Years later, the children who waited tended to have better life outcomes in areas like education, health, and career. The lesson is simple. Success often belongs to those who can wait, work, and stay the course. Delayed gratification isn't about denial. It's about direction. It's the understanding that the reward you want most is worth more than the reward you want now. When you master this, you stop sabotaging your future for the sake of your present mood. You become the kind of person who builds a foundation strong enough to support the life you truly want. And while delayed gratification shapes your mindset, you also need a system that shapes your daily reality, a structure that makes discipline easier to follow. That's what we'll explore next. Part 6. The structure that sets you free. Many people think of structure as restrictive, something that limits freedom. But in reality, the right structure doesn't trap you, it liberates you. Structure removes the guesswork. It saves you from wasting mental energy deciding what to do next. When your days have a clear rhythm, your discipline has a clear path to follow. Think about a musician. They practice scales, follow timing, and work within a musical structure. Yet within those boundaries, they create beautiful art. Structure in life works the same way. It's not about rigid control over every minute. It's about having a reliable framework that supports your priorities and keeps you consistent. Start with a simple daily routine. Fixed start time for your morning. Dedicated blocks for your most important work. Built-in pauses for rest and recovery. Once you create a structure, you no longer have to rely on constant willpower. Your schedule becomes the guardrail that keeps you on track. The more consistent your structure, the more space you have for creativity, rest, and growth, because you're no longer fighting the chaos of an unplanned day. But no matter how strong your structure is, there will be times it's tested. Moments when discomfort, challenge, and uncertainty push back against your plans. The question is, will you retreat, or will you use discomfort as fuel for growth? Part 7. Embracing discomfort as a catalyst for growth. Most people run from discomfort. They see it as a sign to stop, a reason to turn back. But if you want to master self-discipline, you have to see discomfort differently. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the invitation. It's the signal that you've stepped beyond your comfort zone and entered the place where growth happens. Think about the gym. Your muscles only grow when you push them beyond their current limits. The same is true for your mind, your habits, and your life. When you face discomfort, waking up earlier than you want, saying no to unhealthy habits, sticking to a routine when you're tired, you're building resilience. Each time you lean into that resistance, you expand your capacity to handle more. This doesn't mean seeking pain for its own sake. It means understanding that the things most worth having, health, mastery, success, require moments of struggle. The more you train yourself to stay in discomfort instead of escaping it, the more unstoppable you become. But there's another secret to mastering self-discipline, one that has nothing to do with grit and everything to do with your surroundings. Because sometimes, the easiest way to stay disciplined is to make discipline the easiest choice. Part 8. The role of environment in self-discipline. Willpower is important, but it's also limited. If you constantly fight against temptation, clutter, or distraction, your discipline will eventually wear thin. That's why your environment matters. So much your surroundings either pull you towards your goals or push you away from them. If you want to eat healthier, keep fresh food, visible, and junk food out of reach. If you want to work with focus, clear your workspace of distractions. If you want to read more, keep books within arm's reach and your phone out of sight. The goal is to design your environment so that the easiest choice is also the right choice. This is not about relying on superhuman self-control. It's about setting up your life so that discipline happens naturally, with less effort and less resistance. Environment isn't just physical. It's also social. The people you spend time with shape your habits more than you realize. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to grow, and distance yourself from those who drain your energy or pull you backward. When your environment supports your goals, discipline becomes less about fighting and more about flowing. And that's a powerful shift. Once your environment is working for you, the next step is to create an even stronger force, one that comes from connection and commitment. It's called accountability, and it can turn discipline from a solo struggle into a shared journey. Part 9. Accountability. Turning discipline into a shared journey. Discipline is often seen as a solitary effort, just you, your goals, and your willpower. But when you bring accountability into the picture, everything changes. Accountability means you're not just answering to yourself, you're answering to someone else. It could be a mentor, a coach, a friend, or even an online community. The simple act of knowing someone is watching can dramatically increase your follow-through. When you commit to someone, you raise the stakes. Skipping a workout, missing a deadline, or breaking a promise now comes with more weight, because it's not just about you. But accountability isn't just about avoiding failure. It's about creating a support system that celebrates your wins, helps you problem-solve challenges, and reminds you why you started when your energy dips. The best accountability relationships are mutual. You hold each other to your commitments, pushing and encouraging each other forward. When you combine personal discipline with external accountability, you create a double layer of commitment that makes quitting far less likely. And when accountability becomes part of your life, discipline stops being something you do and starts being who you are. That's when you reach the highest level, making self-discipline a way of life. Part 10. Self-discipline as a way of life. True mastery of self-discipline isn't about short bursts of effort. It's about weaving discipline into the fabric of your identity until it becomes second nature. At this stage, discipline is no longer something you have to force. It's the way you think, act, and make decisions every day. It shapes how you spend your mornings, how you respond to challenges, and how you invest your time and energy when discipline is part of who you are. You don't negotiate with yourself about whether to take action. You simply act. Your choices naturally align with your goals because your habits, priorities, and mindset are all working together. This doesn't mean life becomes effortless. There will still be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But the difference is, discipline gives you the resilience to keep moving forward no matter what. And perhaps the greatest benefit of living with self-discipline is the freedom it creates. Freedom from regret. Freedom from wasted potential. Freedom to live a life you've consciously built. One choice, one action, one day at a time, and now we come to the final truth about self-discipline, the reason it matters, the reason it transforms everything. It's not just about reaching goals, it's about becoming the kind of person who can create, sustain, and protect the life you truly want. The discipline that shapes your destiny. Self-discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect. In action, it's you saying, I am worth the effort. My dreams are worth the work. My future is worth the fight. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Some days, those choices will be easy. Other days, they will test every ounce of your will. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing growth over comfort, you will build a life that reflects your deepest values and highest potential. The truth is, your destiny is not shaped by one grand decision. It's shaped by the countless small decisions you make when no one is watching. The decisions to keep going, to stay focused, to do what you said you would do, especially when it's hard. So from this day forward, don't just aim for more motivation. Aim for more discipline, because motivation gets you started. But discipline is what keeps you moving. Until the dream in your mind becomes the reality in your life, take the first step, then take the next, and keep walking. One disciplined choice at a time into the future you were meant to create.
Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions. Send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.